In this video, we'll learn about Southwest Minnesota Arts Council's Art Study Opportunity for Youth Grants for fiscal year 2027, which runs from July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2027. Art Study Opportunity for Youth Grants provide young artists in grades 5 through 12 with funds for special study opportunities. Funding is available for up to $500 and comes from Southwest Minnesota Arts Council memberships and donations. Art Study Opportunity for Youth Grants are open to students in grades 5 through 12. Students can be about to start 5th grade, but they are no longer eligible once their 12th grade school year is finished. Students need to live in the Southwest Minnesota Arts Council or SMOC region for at least 6 months before applying and need to remain a resident in the region throughout their grant contract period. To be more specific, our region or service area includes 18 counties and 2 tribal nations: Big Stone, Chanchayapi or Lower Sioux Community, Chippewa, Cottonwood, Jackson, Candy-Ojai, Lac qui Parle, Lincoln, Lyon, McLeod, Meeker, Murray, Nobles, Pajutazizi or Upper Sioux Community, Pipestone, Redwood, Renville, Rock, Swift, and Yellow Medicine. We acknowledge that the Southwest Minnesota region occupies the traditional, ancestral, and contemporary lands of the Dakota people. In order to apply, students should have some experience in their art form, which can include visual arts, music, theater, dance, writing, media arts, or cultural arts. Funds can be used for studying with a professional artist, attending an arts workshop, camp, or series of classes, or for low-income students, weekly lessons. Low income is defined by qualification for the federal free or reduced lunch program. The following activities are not eligible for these grants: projects that don't have an art focus, participation in a school or organization band or choir trip, equipment or supplies that are not specifically for the proposed project, credits or materials necessary to fulfill degree requirements. Also ineligible is the religious socialization of the participants or audience, attempts to influence any state or federal legislation, payments of debts incurred before the grant begins, budgets that include general contingency expenses, and applicants with a past grant project still in progress or an overdue final report. There are monthly deadlines available for this grant program, on the first of the month beginning in August 2026 and running through May of 2027. For all of the deadlines, applications need to be submitted by 11:59 p.m. on that date. The earliest date that you could start your project would be the first day of the following month after the deadline. As an example, an application submitted on August 10th would be in time for the September 1 deadline, which would have an earliest project start date of October 1. The SMOC board would make funding decisions on September 22nd, the 4th Tuesday. Then the applicant would be notified within a few days following the board meeting and could start their project on October 1st. You'll need to choose a start and end date for your project. And in choosing your start date, be sure to check for that earliest allowed start date, because you can't start any activities or spend any money before the date. And activities could be things like booking travel, ordering supplies, any auditions or rehearsals, payments to teachers, etc. The only exception to that is that payment of a registration deposit can take place before the earliest allowed start date and still be included in your budget, which is new this year. However, any other funds spent or activities begun before the project start date cannot be included in the grant project budget. When you are choosing your project end date, make sure to give yourself plenty of time to complete your project. And projects that are awarded this year, fiscal year 2027, need to be finished up by June 30th of 2028. In preparing to fill out your application, these are the kinds of questions you'll need to answer and materials you'll need to gather. You'll need to provide information about the student's arts experience and accomplishments, samples of the student's artwork, a description of the study opportunity, details about the camp or class, or an artist's resume and bio, work samples, and letter of commitment. Those depend on the type of opportunity you are taking part in. Then you'll need some goals for your study opportunity, such as skills that you want to improve, an itemized budget, and some demographic information. Here are the criteria that the reviewers will use to score your application. They will look at the student's art experience, worth 33% of the score, and the project's contribution to the student's growth, worth 67% of the score. In more detail, when looking at the student's art experience, the reviewers will look to see if the student shows interest and involvement in their art form and that they have experience appropriate to their age level. And then for growth, reviewers will be looking to see if the opportunity has potential for growth of the student's artistic skills, if the chosen mentor or opportunity has high artistic merit, and if the opportunity is well planned and financially feasible. SMOC staff can offer assistance in several ways as you work on your application. First, we can talk through your project with you before you get started to make sure that you are applying under the right grant program and that your project is eligible. You also can get answers to any questions you may have as you're filling out your application. You can also have SMOC staff review your application draft. If you let us know about 2 weeks before the deadline, we can take a look at your application and let you know if you're missing anything, if there's anything the reviewers might find confusing, and just give you some general feedback. So if you have time to take advantage of that, that can be a very helpful opportunity. We also have many resources available for you on our website. You will find for each of our grant programs the guidelines and criteria, important dates, including when you will find out whether you have received a grant or not, and also application and report questions in an editable format so you can see what those involve before starting anything. We also have instructional videos available, including a tutorial on how to use the online grant system, another tutorial on how our grant process works in general, along with several grant writing related topics such as reaching underserved and underrepresented communities and putting together your grant goals and evaluation plan. There are also sample documents available on the website. You can see what a contract looks like. For organizations, there's a sample fiscal sponsor agreement. You'll also find the credit lines and logos that you may need to use in promoting your grant project. There is also the login to our online grant system, and you can find multiple ways to connect with SMOC staff. Thanks for learning about Southwest Minnesota Arts Council's grants. Please contact us with any questions or visit our website for more information.